In this episode of Film Stock Reviews, I'm reviewing episode 6 of Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities, titled Dreams in the Witch House. This is based on the H.P. Lovecraft short story of the same name, with a teleplay by Mika Watkins, and this episode is directed by Catherine Hardwicke, and it stars Rupert Grint, who you may know played Ron Weasley in the Harry Potter movies. Now, this tells a story of Walter Gilman, as a young boy who witnesses the death of his sister Epperly. She dies from some kind of disease, but then she's dragged away in the forest of lost souls. He sees her spirit become, dragged away, and all this time he's been infatuated by reconnecting with her. Many years later, he's a grown man now, and he goes to certain aspects and seances and try and find a way to reconnect and, you know, re you know re-establish his connection with his twin sister. Now he does all that by many certain means, and he meets this two guys, and he rents a room where he takes this liquid gold, so to speak, this elixir, and he drinks it, and he goes into the forest of lost souls, and then he sees Epperly. But the forest tries to take him back because he's not supposed to be there, but she is supposed to be there because she's very confused about what happened because it was so abrupt and she can't, she doesn't agree or she doesn't know what's happening. All the while, he goes to a house and finds out that a witch, which is why this is Dreams in the Witch House, is what the title is, and it's an executed witch who did all this witchcraft and stuff, and it's Keziah Mason who kind of, resembles this weird, interesting thing. It's a mix of practical effects with CGI, and it's absolutely done in a way where you would never anticipate or think of. Now, after several attempts, Walter kind of locates his sister once again and kind of is able to bring a piece of her dress into the real world, and he finds that he can actually go back and do it again. But his attempts gain the attention of the witch and her kind of companion in a way, a human-faced rat, which is I don't understand this whole aspect of this series with rats. I mean, it's just interesting and weird, but it's done in a way where you didn't expect it. And the rat's name is Jenkins Brown. And when Walter successfully brings Epperly back, he kind of brings the witch and this human-faced rat back. And then they find out that in a way that they're only brought back because they have to possess the souls of a living, and the twins, Walter and his sister, are the perfect match. So everything starts happening. They get into a fight. Epperly kills the witch, but then somehow through all the chaos, Walter, just faints, and then he kind of, in a way, wakes up. He thinks all it's over, and he kind of the rat kind of, the human face rat kind of burrowed itself into Walter and it bursts out. He dies, and then the body comes back. And then the Jenkins Brown kind of successfully possesses the body of Walter. And it's just absolutely crazy of how it is. Not only that, there is another witch in this who sees visions and writes and draws these visions on a board and makes it like a huge painting. And she explains to her, Walter, that it's visions like this that happen. We find out that when Walter is staying at this witch house, there is a leak in the kind of top of the ceiling in a way, and his friend and this other kind of premonition woman go up, and we see the body there of Keziah, the witch, and the human rat faced. So it's really interesting how it was done. The twist is different. I do like the element of seeing Rupert Grint in a horror show like this. It was done really well. It was really, really attention grabbing. I mean, if you've seen the story, or if you've read the story, excuse me, the short story by H.P. Lovecraft, then you know what happened. Little minute tweaks and details of what the story is, but the way it was put on screen was interesting. I didn't like the rat aspect to it. There could have been something different, but the look of the witch, the executed witch, Keziah Moon, was done in a creepy way. You see her like in the shadows, but then you see the yellow eyes when you see it up close. you think it's CGI. But if you've seen the behind the scenes look of how this show is done, it's practical effects. It's actually someone in makeup. It's just absolutely amazing. The aspect of the real world and the Forest of Lost Souls is really different because you don't know what's on the other side. You don't know what happens. And it's a really heartfelt story, especially for Epperly, who died so young, and her brother Walter trying to figure out what happened all this time. And then you see him like happy that it happened. But Epperly kind of saves her brother, but then not triumphantly in the end. The aspect of the cinematography was really good. The close-up, the claustrophobia was good, and the scarce of it, the scary aspect to certain things, how it was done, the noise, the creaks, the shadow images were really, really good, and I absolutely loved it. Catherine Hardwicke did a phenomenal job directing this episode, and I really, really enjoyed it. I'm curious to see, the aspect of how H.P. Lovecraft stories are done because this season of Cabinet of Curiosities was heavily based on Lovecraftian lore. I don't mind H.P. Lovecraft, but the aspect of picking certain stories is really difficult just to put it onto the small screen. I mean, it's been done on the big screen in a small, minute way, but nothing that has become successful. Cabinet of Curiosities has done that in a successful way, but more so changing the stories and adding their own spin to it, which I don't mind, but pick stories that will actually be one where you actually understand what's going on. And if you've read the short stories or those stories by H.P. Lovecraft, then you know, this is that story. This is what they're doing. Oh, it was great when it came on to the screen. So that's my opinion on this episode. I mean, Dreams in a Witch House is great. The whole aspect and the mind-bending tale of it just blows my mind for sure. For me, Dreams in the Witch House gets 3 out of 5 stars. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought about episode 6 of Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities titled Dreams in the Witch House. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you think of it? What did you think about the short story that they took from H.P. Lovecraft? And what is your favorite H.P. Lovecraft story or short story? And do you think they did a really good job expressing the atmosphere that they put on the small screen with this story? Let me know in the comment section below about all the questions I just asked, and be sure you stay tuned for more reviews of Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities.